Y'all, welcome back to the Madam Show. So let me tell you, first of all, y'all know my intro is new. I was staring at the intro like, girl, you did that. And then I told myself, I said I could see the line right there, so I'm going to go back and fix it. But I'm just saying, welcome, and make sure you have a drink poured up. Make sure if you roll up, you do so, or roll up while you're on the show. You know, sometimes you got to put the kids to bed. We wait until you make sure you do that. So tonight we have a special guest, and in due form, y'all know what just happened. Y'all ready? Hold on. In due form, as always. Not only is he not ready, he's not ready. Okay, but he here. It's cool. So while my brother is getting situated, the famous homie who I done showed all these professional clips about today, we're gonna have our guest introduce himself first.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jojo Habanero. My podcast name, Jojo Habanero, from the Red Cup TV. But everybody knows me as Joris or AJ from the J.A. Cigars, Best Park, and the Awanso Noble Lifestyle. I'm happy to be here tonight with everybody.
Any other jobs? Any other titles?
Well,
I mean, don't forget one. I'm just saying.
No, I get it. My all the accolades and all the other stuff, that's what I do on the side. But yeah, in my daily profession, I am a project manager, IT certified project manager. During my daytime, that's my profession.
So you actually could have left that off, because I'm a PM. You didn't have to throw the part in there about you being IT, because y'all know IT take it to the next level. So when I talk about levels and money, and when I be like, I ain't rich, that's what I meant. And I had no idea he was going to embarrass me like that. I thought he was going to be like, oh, I'm in IT. Like he was going to leave it there. But then he said PM.
Oh, my God.
I'm saying. But I love it. Let a king be a king.
Thank you.
I love it. So,
it.
brother, are you ready to introduce yourself? I see you're choking from the smoke. Will you die?
Yeah, no. I'll be forgetting that you can't hit the pins like you hit the blunt. So I'll overhit it and choke myself to damn death. That's what happened right there. But, that segues into the introduction. Of course, y'all know who it is. Famous homie back again on this beautiful Thursday evening with sis and the homie up to the right. There we go. I'll get it in today. I can't wait to hear what the fuck we talking about today.
Okay, so in due form, let me tell you what I was thinking. I said myself said, I said we can't use that topic. We need to pick another topic, because JoJo checked in and said he's coming. So let me tell you what topic I thought about. I said... because on my post that I made about women taking a step back, and are women in America losing out because we are the independent woman, but I was saying it because we don't have the option. So JoJo gonna jump all down my throat talking about I wouldn't survive there, wouldn't nobody want to marry me, like all this stuff. And I was like, I text him like, you did that to me in public? He didn't say that. But he did say we wouldn't survive. And I really believe that that's true. But I believe they wouldn't survive here either. So I wanted to hear. Y'all ready?
Oh, my God.
This is my question. And it's actually, I'm telling you, because I hold the ladies accountable. Y'all both witnessed it. My question is, when women from the U.S. are asking for a man who leaves, do they understand what that means? Because we've asked before for the men that say, I don't care what you make, you don't have to work. Do you know what that means, right? Because they don't think about, you got to pay for everything from her head to her toe. Mm-hmm. But do women, when they say, I want an alpha male, I want a male that leads, insert, you can't tell me what to do. I'm just saying. So.
Whoa. That's okay. This is good. Wait. This is for him, or this is
Either one of y'all can
topic?
start because I'm asking both. We have one alpha male from the U.S. and we have one alpha male originating from Africa, but also
Yes,
from the U.S.
that's
And
right.
then you guys are both respectful alphas. So
You
this
know
is
what?
what women are saying that they want. This is it right here.
That's
So
that's
you got to
good.
be willing to listen to what these men are saying because I brought you the truth. You asked for it, ladies. So that's the question. Each of you could take a turn. Do you think women know what they really want when they say, I want a man who leads?
Hmm.
Because neither one of y'all are married, so clearly we don't.
Right.
L like a motherfucker.
I think that a lot of women probably don't know what they're saying when they say that. You know what I'm saying? Especially, how most men are. Like you don't know what you're really saying when you say that. Now, if you want a man that leads and you put him in that position, you say, okay, I'm following your lead. It's you I'm following. A lot of men are taking that as, you know what? I'm going to make the decisions. I'm going to, be responsible for how this goes or how that goes or how this happens. And some even take it further of, oh, you can't dress a certain way. You have to respect the me. I don't want you showing your body to everybody like that. And it's not saying all men, but some men, do have that, just such as the Keke Palmer situation. A lot of men felt that was disrespectful what she had on. I don't personally feel that way, but I know we talked about that before, but just using that as an example, when you say you want an alpha male or a man that leads, that means leading with everything. And if you want that, you have to be able to relinquish that urge to lead yourself or to step in and say, okay, he's not doing this, or I don't agree with this. Let me try it my way. I don't think what you're really asking, you don't know what you're really asking for when you say that. And I think it works on both ends. You oppose the question about men saying that you don't have to work. That's big right there. I know this is about the women, but I kind of want to say a little something about that because, like you said, it ain't just paying the bills. Now, if you tell a woman she ain't got to work, there's a woman's upkeep. There's her look, her beauty. Her keeping her body right, going to the gym, getting her nails done, getting her hair. Women like to feel pretty. Those are requirements. So when you say you don't have to work, you must be willing to pay for all that, not just provide a house and a home, but all the other stuff that comes with being a woman. So, back to the women though. From my perspective, I don't think that they know what they're really saying when they say I want a man that leads, because it's bigger than just, oh, he got all the money or he got this. It's leadership in damn near every category in life, and you got to be willing to do that if that's what you really want.
Okay. What about you, JoJo?
Well, the answer I'm going to give, I want everyone to be able to keep in mind that my perspective, I come from a different place, and I've been in America long enough, though I haven't traveled too much outside of the state where I live. I've been here long enough to be able to have a fair comparison of what I've experienced here as opposed to what I've experienced. And what is constant is that this leadership thing, to me, at least philosophically, I can boil it down to something very simple. It's someone who is at least trying to make the best decision in every situation for which the outcome is going to be desirable, both short term and long term, and sustainable. And the ability to do that is not going to be offered to everybody. Now, what I do find is that a lot of women here, through the years that I've been here, don't understand that there are some men that take that task so seriously that for whatever reason, those women find themselves in the way of allowing that man to do these things. Again, whether that's financial, whether that's emotional, whether that's physical, I guess I'll leave it that. And also, I think what's going on here is that time here in America compared to time where I come from has changed a lot faster than anywhere else I've noticed. So the way things used to be coming here in America, I have noticed that a lot of things here have changed a lot more rapidly than they have changed anywhere else in the US, anywhere else in the world. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is there are some women who have perhaps witnessed through their parents or grandparents how they used to do. The world is very, very different for a lot of people and expect the same things, though those same things cannot be replicated exactly in the same way. So I'll give an example. On the financial side, were a lot of men able to provide in a way where the woman did not have to, reach in her purse to do that? Then yes. Today, I highly doubt a lot of people are able to do the same thing in the same way. If it was 100% of the bills, maybe 60, 65, 70, 75 maybe, but 100% of the bills, it's going to be an even smaller percentage of people who are able to do that now that they were able to do it then. So what happens now is, well, then where does the leadership go from that point on? Because a lot of people used to make their decisions and be in that leadership role led with that. Now you have to find other ways of being able to have that leadership. One way they can do it is you gave the example of the Keke Palmer example.
Mhm.
If she's married and she's with someone, Keke Palmer, the husband or boyfriend, needs to be able to understand the industry she's in. So there are some things that she has to do for the job. We understand that that's the job. However, I've been in these rooms where stars and celebrities, they get to choose what they wear or what they don't wear.
Yeah.
They get to choose what a designer wants to put on them. They get to say yes or they get to say no. And if you have children, the way the world is now, everything is digitized where you can't erase it anywhere. I would like to believe that there's a place where the gentleman has a point. Later on down in life, depending on the type of lifestyle that they decide to have, the children may come across what their mom has been doing when they were younger, and it may or may not affect them, whether positively or negatively. But I believe the gentleman's position was that people need to at least keep that in mind and have that in consideration when they're choosing what to wear when they're going outside. Now you're single, you're by yourself, you don't have any children, no one counts on you, or your kids are grown. If your kids are grown and out the house, that's different. But I think that's what's missing. What's missing here is that a lot of women don't understand that men's leadership is that what the man is trying to do is he's trying to give himself all the chances to make the best decisions that's going to generate the best desires, both short term and long term. As a woman, you really cannot be in the way of that. I just, you just make the job a little harder, and that's what's missing here. I don't think they hear that, and I don't think they realize what they're asking for. To ask for a man to be a leader, he needs to be able to think about these things, and he needs to be able to take it very seriously, and she cannot be in the way of doing that.
Okay, I think that that's fair. Now let me give you my American answer. Let me tell you. This is my American answer. Okay. Everybody hasn't seen it yet, but we've had a project, and JoJo and I sat down because we were talking. I went and grabbed the camera because the things that he was saying, I'd never heard before, right? So I've heard things like women don't take accountability. We talk back too much. I didn't when he said some of the things he said, it was like, why don't men talk to us like that? If you said that, then we would get it, right? So I grabbed the camera.
Mhm.
Let me tell you where one of my my biggest things are, right? In that conversation, when we were recording, there was a moment where I thought he was done and he wasn't. He didn't tell me to shut up. He didn't tell me I was still, he didn't say anything that was inappropriate. I can't even remember what he said, but when he said it, I looked at him and I was like, that's how a grown man talks. Like it excited me, right? That's case in point. And I'm going to try to edit this and put it out so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. At least pull that part out. The case in point is, in order to be respected as a leader, you have to conduct yourself as a leader, right? We all can think of when we go to work and that manager comes in, okay, I'm the manager, do what I say. Nigga, you was just sitting next to me taking extra long lunches, not doing what you were supposed to be doing. So you got to earn that respect. You got to set yourself apart, right? You don't get it because you get a title. An example of the Keke Palmer thing, my nigga, you was just recording her and showing your bad bitch off because now your girl had a baby and you was proud of it. Would you ever in your life, as a king and a leader of a household, go on the internet? Because how does that have anything to do with your household? Exactly. You're talking about what's out there, then that would mean that, and I have actually thought of these things, which is why I haven't had the lifestyle that I would have liked to have. When I do have kids, I don't want them to be able to pull up anything that would be humiliating, right? So it can't just start because I have kids and then I say they're going to be 5 one day. Well, what happened to between when they were born and 5? What about everything that happened before that? Right. See, he has pictures, that man with no shirt, underwear on, have a straight thirst trap picture. What you didn't really like is that your girl has a grown-up body now. And what she liked, she wore what she liked. Do you trust her? If you trust her, then that should be a compromise. Now, if you don't agree, I'm not saying he shouldn't agree. I'm saying you couldn't let her finish having fun, wait till talk to her when she got home. That was on TMZ before that night was over. You would never lead like that.
Nah,
and
I would not.
You know what I mean? So when some of these men are asking for some of these things, we don't care what you make. We don't care all of these other things. I care about how you talk to me and how you treat me. And please don't tell me to be a woman of the cloth with morals and values, but ain't no ring on my hand and you made me a mama first. We can start over together and we can start to lead from there. But what you're not going to do is start it by doing me like that. Like, how can you protect me if you hung me out?
Yeah, I can't really argue that point. You definitely have a point. If things were done in a different way, I think the way we're trying to say it is, after the dress was worn, then yes, you're absolutely right. Like, what I was mainly discussing is before she put.
I like what you said though.
But I have to admit, everything you said after that, the way he handled it going online, that's just messy, and it's inviting everyone's eyes into your relationship. At least the side of a relationship that doesn't need to be exposed out there. So,
and it turned on him. Her prior interviews, it was like, she said it, I'm not bringing you guys into my relationship at all. So whether she had a problem with him in that picture or not, we don't know. Whether she had a picture with some of the thirst things that he posted, we don't know. Because she specifically said, I'm not going to, but then you hung her out to dry. I just think that men and women need to pay attention to the things that they do in order to lead and one day, like Suki, look at what she did to herself. If a man was leading her, I don't think that she could conduct herself this way. And then a man tries to do what you put out there and then you got offended. So women, that's 100% correct. We cannot do the same things that men do. That's just not reality. Just like we want to say, I shouldn't be paying all the bills, but if they pay the bills, we say it's okay. Like, are you ready for what you're asking for? Are you ready to be submissive? If your husband make good money and you make good money and everything can be covered, and this man says, I want to raise a family now, I want you at home, will you do that? These are the questions you got to think about when we're saying we want a man that leads. In Africa, Jojo, I want to start with you this time because both of you were raised with both of your parents. And Jojo, your family is, your mom and dad are still together, and correct. You were raised in Africa coming up. So what did that look like coming up?
Well, there's a lot of gender roles. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of gender roles. The roles are set. No one complains. The job is done. check in with one another every now and then. Like, are you okay? Is everything all right? Do you need anything? My dad, again, hats to him. He did everything he was supposed to do, and he did it by the book. He did it the old-fashioned way. And my mom, she did her role. She did exactly what she was supposed to do as well. So I got to see the roles, and I got to see it work. Were there problems? Yes, but they handled it where us as kids, we could never see anything. It's only until we got older that we got to understand certain things. Obviously, you understand certain things as you get older, but it was a whole lot of, and what helps is that everyone else around you is doing the same thing.
I was gonna ask you to bring up that point, that is the cultural thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. So everyone else is doing the same thing, and it's just normal. It's a normal business day. It's just normal. Everybody's home after 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Dinner's already made. Having dinner every night. Sunday dinners, going to church Sunday morning. It's just that every now and then he'll take us. Okay, everyone gets in a car, gets in a van. We go to the beach. Maybe twice a year. That was about it.
So
family
twice
over.
a year.
Yeah, about twice a year. That's how often we would have a family outing. Now, in between, we would have friends coming over, friend of the family coming over. We'll have that, cousins and stuff coming over in between. But what would be considered vacation, what people call vacation here, we had it maybe every other year where we would travel like outside of the country and stuff. But family outings where we would go somewhere, like I would say the equivalent of going to Disneyland, for example. We would have those. Would have those once or twice a year.
Okay, and Rahman, so that greatly impacted how you look at how the gender role should go. But Rahman, your perspective is a little more flexible, a little more evolved, if you will. But you came from a background with both parents. So talk a little bit about that, and then talk about how it transitioned into you being a father and your family.
Okay. Well, as you know, for those that don't, I had both my parents. My mom passed when I was 15, so I think I missed about 3 key years of my adolescence of things that I needed to see from that age. But 1 through 15, I could definitely give you what I learned and what I saw. So my parents had a marriage, traditional marriage. We had a big family, 5 kids. And my dad worked in the beginning. It was only him working, as far as I know. I know my mom, she did little jobs here and there in between. But for a long time, he was the breadwinner, and she ran the house. She picked the kids up from school, did hair, cooked, cleaned until we got old enough to clean, of course, or help clean. Paid the bills with his money, of course. And his role was just to go to work and give moms a check and let mom stretch the check out and make sure everything is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And so of course, we were raised in church too, so that was a big part of it. We seen, other married couples in the church as well operate kind of very similarly. But as far as being a cultural thing, like what he saw on the day to day, I didn't see that. My mom and dad didn't really have a lot of, couple friends that I saw. The couple that have couples night, or you'll see them come over, and I don't remember a lot of that going on. And then as far as my peers, I don't remember my peers having dads in the home, so I felt like I was the only one. So it was a little odd, because I know I was always different from people because I thought differently, because I was taught differently.
And it's a slight difference. Okay.
Yes, it's a big difference. And I was always different in that way. And I always wondered why I was different. And I thought back, and I'm like, most of the niggas that I grew up with didn't have no daddy. It was just a mom in the house. And that's a big, big difference, which will segue into what I'm going through. But I saw that from my parents, and they ran a great structure. We had a great time. From my eyes, I know this is not realistic, but from my eyes, I saw a perfect marriage. My parents, they didn't argue in front of us. I know they did, but they didn't do it in front of us. They didn't fight in front of us.
That's right.
Camaraderie we always saw love. For all I know is my mom and daddy love each other to death. So I'm glad that they kept that away from us. We didn't see none of that crap. They always stood together till death do in her part. You know, my dad was cooking her breakfast the morning that she passed away. You know, he was cooking a big breakfast for everybody. We had some milestones. You know, Gina was having a baby. I got my first job. You know, so it was some milestones going on. So my dad was cooking her breakfast the morning she passed. So I saw a good marriage growing up. Of course, like my man said, when you grow up and you learn, and you notice stuff, and you're an adult, you can kind of see what they have here and there. You can understand it now.
You can understand it now. That's right.
I'm a nigga. I understand. Okay.
Right.
I'm a grown man. So, now I've definitely taken what I learned from them and put my own spin on it. And my situation is a bit different. You know, I was in a relationship for a long time, and but in the relationship, you know, I've talked about this too much. I don't want to go deep in it, but I had to
just a brief overview.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of the heavy lifting, you know, all the working and all the taking care of everything. I didn't have the support that my dad had and my mom, you know. Unfortunately, I was with somebody that really wasn't pulling her weight. So I had to do everything, the home shit and the out of home shit. So it took a toll on me, and I thought I was Superman. So I tried to do it, and you know, went through a lot of stuff as a result, but ended up becoming a single father, full-time father for the last 5.5 years. I've had complete custody of my children and pretty much been doing everything myself. And I've had to take a lot of the lessons that I learned from my mom and my dad, but I have to kind of be both of them at the same time. Now, I can never be a woman. I mean, I'm not one of them niggas that be on Mother's Day talking about, oh, give me my flight. No, I'm not a mom. But however, I have to try to support, and I have girls. I have 2 girls, two oldest are girls. So I have to try to, as much as I can, give them the stuff that I do know about a woman. You know, of course I got sisters and everything else, but as far as me being in the house with them, I have to try to give them that as best as I can. You know, and from a man's point of view, and it's for my son, he's like me. I lost my mom at 15. He hasn't really been around his mom in 5 years. So, and he's only 13. So that's a huge part of his life. And I have to understand that I just can't be this nigga to my son. I got to have a soft side for my son, because I can't do it mentally. I know where he's at. I learned from where I was at 15, fragile, no mama around. I can't just be this certain way. So I try to be a little different. My dad didn't take it well. My mom passing away, and it's a lot of things that he says to himself he could have done better after. But I don't hold him for that. I just say, okay, I'm learning from those mistakes and try to be better with my children. Now, obviously, they'll have stuff that they'll want me to, when they get older. Of course, it's stuff I could have done better. But like my man said earlier, I'm making the best decisions based on what I've seen. And I think I had a pretty good example from my parents on what to do with parenting, period, even in a single parenting situation like myself.
Okay, so now let's get into the juicy shit. Okay. Let me tell you, because they need to know all that stuff. That stuff is important in why you guys are saying what you're saying. Both you guys came from a 2-parent household, and then you made decisions that helped you later in the things that you do. Let's read this comment. Something as simple as an outfit. I wouldn't trip and wear something I think she means doesn't like. Never correct me in public. Women got to stop. Women got to stop making that comment and telling other women what not to do with stuff like that. But women got to stop acting like dressing sexy is oppression. It might be. Ring or not. If a man doesn't like it, I won't wear it. I like peace. I. Women got to stop. That's what we got to stop doing. We don't support each other enough. If I am telling you, if Asia said, this outfit is really important to me, I shouldn't have to explain to you why it's important. Either you respect it or you don't. If you don't, and you're my partner, do I compromise? I do. But I'm saying it could be somebody that is something really important. How do we know that she didn't tell the person that made that outfit that she would wear it and it's a designer? And to JoJo's point at the beginning, it's a part of business. We do have a decision what we wear, but how do we know? Because we don't, it's none of our business if that was something she actually had to wear. And if it was, that would be discussed between the couple. But what women don't have to do is, you don't get to tell us to overly explain to make you comfortable than under-explain to make you comfortable when you want us to shut up. It's not fair.
You know
I
what?
don't understand. Can you expound on that? I'm not sure I understand that.
The comment?
Yeah.
Or what I just did?
I don't, the comment, like,
this comment goes with the beginning. So what Kiki, just to catch JoJo, this is going back to what Kiki wore. So basically what she's saying is I think she's saying she wouldn't let something as simple as an outfit, she wouldn't trip off of it. She would just wear something that he likes. I think that's the first sentence. And then never correct me in public. Absolutely. Or not like that. Women got to stop acting like dressing sexy is oppression. It could be, right? Because if I dress in pants, right? Because there are some religions, and then you want me to never wear pants again. Isn't that the same thing as saying dressing? We can't do blanket statements, is what I'm saying. We can't do blanket statements, right? Because when we think about these things, it could go, we're thinking in our terms. That's why I like that I have two people from different places. It could go from here to here. I'm not Mormon. I could wear pants if I want to, right? And then ring or not, if a man doesn't like it, I won't wear it. I like my piece. That's perfect for you. I think that we all decide what we want to be our hard stops and things. And I think it's good to know what yours are. But we can't tell people what theirs are.
Right. Correct.
Go ahead, brother. And then JoJo, now that you can respond to.
Okay. I have a problem with the whole, if he don't like it, don't wear it. As a man, I have a problem with that. I'm just saying, like, I think the only time that you should try to have a conversation about what your woman is wearing, if it's involving some children type shit. Like if you go into a kids function where it's gonna be nothing but kids, and you walking around in a thong bikini, like that's a little different to me. You obviously don't want to be at a all kids function where it's gonna be nothing but little kids, with a thong bikini on. Although the counters that even that is when you go, if you take your kid to the beach, they're gonna be seeing all type of thong bikinis.
So it's the place that makes it more sense.
It's the place, exactly. So, but other than that, if it's not no kids gathering, I'm just saying, how do we as men think that we're supposed to tell a grown ass woman what to put on? Like, I don't understand that. Like, people, if you got a bad woman, or you got a woman that's fine, or she got ass, or she got this, or she got that, niggas is gonna look regardless. Like, you can't worry about if niggas is looking, if niggas gonna get, niggas is in their DM right now. You got 13 niggas in her DM right now. Like, that shit is not going away. So whether if she got a big booty or she got big titties, whether her cleavage is showing or whether she got a short skirt or something that's showing, niggas is gonna look anyway, and they're gonna try to get at her anyway. So I, as a man, like, I used to feel differently about this, but over the years and maturing and growing, it's like, why have that type of battle? Why want to fight that type of battle over trying to tell somebody what they can and can't wear? If it ain't no kids involved, I ain't trying to tell nobody what they can and can't wear. And your girl is in the entertainment industry, right? So if you know who the fuck you dating, She up there with Usher and they grooving. As long as she don't leave to go to Usher's hotel room and fuck him, you need to stop being so insecure about some bullshit. You know who you dating. She know what industry she in. Like, you have to have some type of security as a man. And lastly, if you're going to have a problem with this shit, nigga, you don't go to TMZ or go to these blogs and express. That ain't no alpha shit. That ain't no man shit. That's bitch shit. So you can't expect to get treated like a man when you acting like a bitch.
So I just have one question real quick. Does safety, so children being in the place and it being appropriate for where you are, but then you obviously wouldn't want her to wear that walking in the middle of downtown LA. So it probably would be, safety would probably be, it has to be something that, not just because I don't like it, my feelings are hurt. Okay. Right. JoJo?
Yeah, I think there's a layer that I would like to add to the conversation. Okay. There's this piece, the part that she's saying, if my man, about the comment, which ties into this, but the part where she says, if my man doesn't like it, I'm not going to wear it. If we're projecting on the comment the extreme cases, then I understand how we don't want to do that. But I think what she's saying is, I am a representation of the person that I am dating. if I'm going to be seen in a public place where he's not going to be there, and we have agreed that as a couple, this is the type of lifestyle that we would like to have, what I don't want to do is, when I'm by myself, behave, act, talk, and do the things that we did not agree upon what our understanding of our lifestyle was going to be. And
That would be a
so
good answer. That's not what she's saying, but I like the
I'm
way you're turning it.
I'm thinking that's what
We know
she's
her.
saying in a
We
nutshell.
know her.
Okay.
We know her. We know her.
Okay. Okay.
But I love where you going with it. So everybody, I love it. Please keep going.
Yeah, it has to be that added layer of, I have an understanding of, I am a representation of my partner, especially that he's not going to be there. If he's not going to be there, now if he's there with me, same event, basketball player and his girlfriend. Usher walks up to the girlfriend jumps from her seat and sits on her boyfriend's lap, making it clear that, okay, Usher, you coming without hot sauce,
Right.
but I'm with my dude. So if the dude is gonna be there, that's the intention, that's the behavior, that's what we want to see. But if he was not going to be there, then obviously just tone it down a little bit and be a representative. Again, if those conversations happened, if those conversations did not happen, then obviously, you really can't demand anything, and it has not been discussed prior.
So I think that is an amazing point, and I'm grateful that you said it, not knowing Kasha and not knowing just certain things. So I've shared it before that my ex, when we were leaving to go to a casino one night, it was hot. I just threw on a summer dress because we were going real quick. He looked at me like and sat down, and I was like, "Why are you sitting down? We're leaving." Oh, because we're not leaving with that on. And when he said it, I was like, "What's the problem?" And when he said it, I was like, "Okay." Again, in-house. You don't tell me shit while we outside and demean me like that. That is never okay. But to your point, I can't really think of any woman, I personally can't, from the women I know, think of any woman that would leave the house and wear something that your man doesn't like and you love him, to intentionally hurt him. You wouldn't do that. Just doesn't even make any sense. For an outfit, when you're doing some shit like that, you throwing on your, what did Martin call it? A fuck 'em girl dress. You doing that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So in the bigger scheme of things, we got to remember that we on a platform where others will hear this, and we know each other, but we got to be clear to give those defining layers and tie it in, because we want to be impactful, because we definitely don't want girls being disrespectful. But men shouldn't either, which is what we're talking about. But that is having that can we also say having that conversation before, where you tell the woman that you like the things that you do and don't like, is much more of an alpha, because you setting the tone at the beginning. And probably if you saw her out with her butt cheeks hanging out, you might date her, or you might play with her and leave her where she is, because she already didn't represent herself as someone that you would want to date and have somebody go out without you. That's probably what half their closet looked like.
Right. It wasn't always the case for me. Here's why.
Okay.
Where I come from, these things are understood, so no conversation needs to be had. I had to learn here that you have to have the conversation so that you get it. So that was a big culture shock for me, because you find yourself in situations where you're like, you don't know this? Like, no, I don't know this. I never had to do it. Oh, really? You don't never. I was talking to this girl one day, and I told her, I said, when we go out, I would like for you, when we go out, when you're with me, I would like for you to have on dresses and skirts. She took it as me trying to, how you said, tell her what to wear and so on and so forth. But in my mind, what I'm thinking is dresses and skirts look sexy. So if you would look sexy for me, do that. Pants and blazers look like you're going to work. Save that for when you're going to, or if I'm not there with you. Now, obviously, if it's raining, I'm not asking you to put on a skirt and it's raining. I'm not asking you to put on a skirt and it's raining. Go ahead, put some pants on, put some jeans on. But the way it was received, it was like, oh, you're telling me what to do, where I should do, where I should wear it, how I should wear it, and so on and so forth. But you got to be. So those conversations back home, you don't have to have them, but here you actually do, because if you don't,
So I noticed that because in my African movies, yes. I'm just saying, I noticed that they always have on skirts and dress. Even some that look a little different. So my thing with that one, in being an alpha male, coming from Africa, the narrative is that they're often sexually attacked. Why would you want them to wear dresses so much? That's just one of the questions that I had and I thought about since you brought that up. Why not wear pants with a belt and a chain and a bulldog?
Sexually attacked in the sense that they're walking somewhere in a street somewhere by themselves alone. That will never happen. And the reason why I'm saying that is because our culture is different. Back home, everyone's home by 8 o'clock. Yeah,
well, then why did the statistics show? Well, we'll have that on a whole different show. Okay,
no, got it. It's okay. So there are a lot of places where the way the world is built in the cities and rules and whether they're spoken or unspoken, there are a lot of places where things happen. You just have to account for that. So the assault and the abuse that you speak of can happen. Yes, it does. A lot of men are violent. That's very true. But it is not the majority. I can guarantee that. Okay. I can vouch for that. Okay. What happens is when you shine a light on the few bad and you repeat the message constantly, the perception is that it happens everywhere, and it doesn't.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Share some devil advocacy on the whole because I'm agreeing with Kiki, but what I do want to ask the audience, as if her dude, if it was a reverse role, and her dude was up there and Nicki Minaj was popping it on him, how would he be viewed in the public eye? Would he be viewed as scandalous? Would she be viewed as scandalous? Would Nicki be shamed knowing this dude got a girl and she backing it up on him and shit? You think people would shade her? Be like,
use Safari, because Safari actually does it. Use Safari.
Wait, Safari does Safari?
Yeah, he does it a lot. Even when he was with Erica, right, JoJo? I'm saying so then they could get the true picture of what you're talking about. We don't see this.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, if a situation like that, I think it would be viewed different. I think if if the roles were reversed, I think that it would be definitely viewed differently. Like people would be like, "Oh, he's scandalous, he ain't no good," and they would shade her. Like no one has said anything bad about Usher for no one has said nothing bad about Usher, partly because everybody is on his nutsack. So women ain't gonna say he ain't.
Don't come for him. I will cut this whole show off. Don't come for my man.
I'm just saying, like people.
I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong.
There's fine privilege. There's all these privileges, but let's keep it a band. Like no one has
paid for Usher.
He knows.
Nobody said, "Oh, she's a mom. You shouldn't have even went to her. You should have went to somebody else."
He knows she's in a relationship, right?
Right. Why didn't go to the single friend right there to the left?
Nobody has said shit about Usher. And,
that's true.
So I'm saying if it was the sexes were reversed, if Nicki Minaj was popping it on her boyfriend, everyone would be dragging Nicki, and everybody would be calling him scandalous. I'm just saying.
That's true. So let me ask you, what would have been your response? No, I want to get away from that topic altogether. This is what I want to know. I want to know from the women that you have dated, what is the biggest mistake that has been made in the woman that says she wants a leader, and not like the dress situation, but what's the biggest mistake that's been made when you're trying to develop a relationship with the woman that you're dating, and it doesn't work because that I want a leader versus I act like I want a leader. It's not matching up.
Right. So the biggest mistake from about one of my biggest mistakes, or just the biggest mistake?
No, for us, what's something that we do that doesn't align with us saying we want a leader? What's something we're doing that's pushing that away because we could really want it and not know how to receive it, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
help
That's
us because a lot of us don't have the two parents, know what that looks like, know what it really means, or we want it, but we're too scared. What's something you've done, because you're both good men? How come the women that you've been with haven't made it to wife status?
I think, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I think just timing. It's more of timing with, I've relationships in my life personally. I had a long one, and we know the story with that one.
Okay.
So I had a long relationship, and it just wasn't. I don't even know. She was just not a good one to be with, and I ended up having a bunch of kids. But this is my other relationships. I think it was just timing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get in relationships, and we're not actually ready to be in a relationship. In all ways, whether your time is not good enough, whether you're unstable or whatever it is. But I think it was more of just the timing of things. So I haven't seriously dated a lot of women. I've had my fun, but I haven't seriously dated a lot of women like that. And I'm just taking my time. I want to make sure that I don't get in relationships just to get in relationships. Like, the point of a relationship, the end goal is marriage. So, the reason why I rushed into that, I'm just taking my time and want to make sure I'm in the right situation, and I'm ready for that. In all
So
ways.
I have a double back question for you. So
Okay.
I have a double back one for you based on what you said. So Jojo, what's your answer? Something we have done that we could do better.
Yeah, in my experiences, I've noticed two things. The first thing is a lot of women who say they want the type of men that they say they want. The reason why, if that man ever came into their lives and for whatever reason, they were not able to hang on to him, or he left or she left, it didn't work out. One of the reasons is this. I think that the women in those situations are just simply not able to separate their emotions, dealing with this man who is sometimes going to tell her no, she's not going to like it. Sometimes not gonna let her have her way, which she's used to. He's not gonna like it. That feeling of not liking to get her way, a lot of women, and depending on what the situation is, a lot of women just simply cannot get over that. And so, however they act in a relationship based on that feeling of not getting their way, of being told no, or being offered or suggested some kind of structure that they're not used to. That feeling, whether it's discomfort, whether it's I don't like it, whether it's I'm not happy, whether it's I'm not used to it, they don't like that feeling. And I think that if a lot of women were able to get past that feeling, and they got to just sit back and watch what the man is doing, how he's doing it, if there's a process, if there's a plan, usually there's some type of reasoning and so on and so forth. If they can get past the feeling of them not liking it, or not liking how it feels at that moment, to have that structure, then it would be good for them. So yes, so I think not being able to get past that feeling. Number two is some of the ways, the things that these men have to conduct themselves, the things they have to do, and how they have to maintain themselves in situations or handle themselves in situations. In the eyes of the women that are with them, those actions or those behaviors look too much like trauma they've either seen or experienced directly or indirectly. So the moment it looks like it, they just don't want to deal with it anymore. So a man can come in and handle a situation in a particular way. He'd seen it done in the past where it was done in an abusive way. This man is not having the same intentions, but he's posing the same action. It reminds her too much of the abuse she experienced, and she doesn't want to deal with it at all. I remember a scenario with a woman who kept getting into car accidents for whatever reason. She just kept getting into car accidents. The husband took the keys.
As you should.
Well, taking the keys from someone, now you don't want me to go out. Now you don't want me to see my family. Now you don't want me to hang out with my friends. Now, if that is the narrative behind the man taking the keys away, when the woman is going to her friends, see, that's that controlling stuff. He's now telling you now you can go see your friends. Not whereas what he's doing is, look, you obviously not responsible with this thing. I kept giving you chances. If I want a different result, I need to have different actions. I can't keep putting the keys in your hands and then this insurance stuff is through the rules. So he has to do something. So when that action looks like that, a lot of women are like, nah, I don't want to deal with such a man. So in my personal case, and in cases that I've seen, things that I've observed, I would like to think that is what women do that doesn't allow them to go through the motion of being with such a alpha man or a man in charge, I would say.
So y'all know I'm gonna tell my shit.
Let me hear it.
Jesus. So one of my biggest issues used to be if I ask for something and you don't get it for me, no problem. 20 minutes later, I'm gonna walk in the door with it. My perception of what I was doing was, okay, that's no problem. You can't get it. I'll get it. You could get the next thing. That was my perception. So it wasn't being rude. It wasn't nothing. But I also didn't communicate that. I would just say, okay. And then I would go do it. Listen, if you've ever been here, you know that he probably didn't see what I went to go do, right? So now this person has worked to get this thing I asked for, and they get it because for whatever reason around my birthday, I shop. But you ask people to buy you these things, and then you go and buy them. You probably did demean this man, but that's not the way I saw it because I've never seen a man and a woman in my household and anything wrong. I think I'm alleviating the problem. The problem is that I'm asking for this thing, so let me alleviate it. You can't do that. And that's something that I learned, but I only learned it through having a partner that actually talked to me and told me that when the partner saw I did the thing. And it was just as simple as I was like hungry right now and I was waiting for him to get it. It was something that small. The problem is that we don't talk enough about what our past really have to do with who we are. So we do talk about it in a way, women, in a way that, oh girl, you doing good. You a catch for anybody. You amazing. Anybody that get with you will be lucky. Unless y'all lesbians, you can't say that because you don't date her. You're her friend. So you're talking from a friend perspective, but you're not talking from a man perspective. And we have fucked our friends up doing that. We didn't know no better though. All we're thinking is these men keep putting us down and fucking us up. If my homegirl's not here, who am I gonna have? We have fucked our friends up because we have made our friends believe you are a good woman, you an amazing woman, and then we talk about 20 things that they do behind their back. You don't think that man thinks that those same things are fucked up?
That's right.
We don't have honest conversations.
That's right.
That man taking those keys, he should the taking. No, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to anybody. But had he said, babe, we're going to put you in driving class. That would have changed it. I finally got with the partner before I got married. I finally got with a partner that talked to me. The caveat with that partner, and I don't know if it contributed, is I've known that partner my whole life. So that partner knew things about me I didn't have to say, and I knew things about him. So that may have helped, but it helped to bridge me into being ready to be a wife, because with my husband, I think I asked for some things like 5 years ago, and I still haven't gotten them, because in my head, I'm not going to do these things anymore, right? Which goes back to the not saying something as simple as a dress, because there are literally things that any partner would not do if they knew what it meant.
That's right.
But that's where the couple, you get what I'm saying? That's why I made that comment, and it kind of hit a nerve, like, you can't do that to people, because we don't know what somebody's been through, right? We all have triggers, and acknowledging that, to your point, will help you to do more of what you want. You want somebody to talk to you, not just take something away. It can't work that way. If you have children and they are number one reason to try and pray, yes, you get a person who generally wants to be a wife and a caring person to your children. I agree. Ron, that's for you. So that was going to be my double back. Perfect bridge. That was going to be my double back to Ron, and I've discussed this before. So you are intentionally blocking love as an alpha male, as a good male, and taking yourself off the market for there may be the perfect woman that's there, and you're prolonging your happiness because of what happened before. If the woman is the woman that's going to be for you, they're going to be willing to take it slow until you're ready to move to the next levels and prove themselves, because that's something that's a part of your past that contributes to your decisions now. And then if any of those red alerts come, I would say have one conversation, but I'm not going to overly have a conversation either, because people get it and you apply what you wanted to apply. That's just my belief. We're too old now to keep saying, well, I don't understand. That don't make no sense. I didn't ask for it to make sense to you. I asked for you to understand why it's important to me and move accordingly. If you can't do that, then you're just not the one for me. Thank you, and have a nice day. That's a part of leading as well, knowing how to manage out, get their ass out of there fast. Shit. Right? Because why keep going? Right? There was a poster girl made. Let me tell you, tell me how you guys feel about this. She was dating a guy for 2 months. The guy, after 2 months, was like, okay, I think we should date other people. I don't think it's going to work out. And she took it to social media like, why even start dating me? Why do men play these games? Blah, blah, blah. I was back and read it like it said 2 months, right? Aren't you supposed to be still courting at 2 months and you getting to know each other? So you could say if you don't want to talk to the person, and the girl shouldn't have been tripping at her friends. Oh, he missed out on a good thing. But maybe you're not his good thing.
Right. She ain't even passed probation yet. Probation is 90 days.
It's 2023. I'm sorry. People date like in high school. You're in a relationship in 3 weeks.
So 2 months is a long time. He took too long.
Right.
Yeah, 2 months. 2 months is too long. She would, in her mind, you wasted 2 months. Could have met someone else. That's 2 months of me having to put my eyelashes on to go out on a date with you. I didn't have to. 2 months of putting my nails on and my all these dresses I got from Shein and Fashion Nova. You don't waste that on my time. You wasted my little $50. So
that's crazy.
It's the turnaround. It's the turnaround. 2023. They date like in high school. 3 weeks, you in.
That's their problem. That's your fuck up if you're doing that. Like
that to me, that was honest. 2 months, he said. What?
Yeah,
that ain't even past probation, man. Everything has a probationary period. Everything.
It's the word of today. The word of today.
But Joe, have you met the family at that point to be talking about y'all too deep into? You're not even together. Y'all was going on. Listen, going on dates and dating are two different things. Nobody did that man ask you to?
I think this is what's happening. A lot of people, when they meet, project on the other person all the good things that they want to see, and until you have a reason to believe otherwise, at this point, is really just the feel, is really just the chemistry, is the what I call the vibe, what everybody likes to call the vibe. At that point, they're vibing. Well, this is what I say. Vibing and all of that is for a good time. But for a long time, you're going to need some form of compatibility. And these things don't come in 2 months. They just simply do not.
You haven't even had an argument yet.
You haven't had an argument. You need to go through some things together to see how people handle it. The biggest one for me is how you handle conflict. If two people get together, how they handle the conflict.
You ain't okay. Oh, okay. You ain't even saying no yet.
That's right. That's right. So, but yeah, this is 2023. This is how, I mean, this
Are
is
we going to have any husbands and wives in the future? What is the so let's end with that question. What does the future look like based on these narcissist men, these fairy tale women, and apparently speed fucking dating? Not too much. So both of you guys tell me what you think the future looks like for family and if you want one.
Yeah, absolutely. I would want one. What I think the future looks like, if I'm wearing my optimistic hat on, I think people are going to start realizing that our medicine, the advancement in technology and all these things, we're just getting older, and group of people or enough people are going to wake up and say, yeah, our population is just too old, and we're just going to have to figure out a way to try and bring that age lower. One way to do it is marriage and kids as young as you possibly can. So I think that's where it's going to go. In the near future, no, everything's going to stay the same, unless you're willing to think differently. A lot of people who travel and go otherwise, they try different things, and so they'll realize America is such a big country. If people travel outside of the country, they'll realize that it is not like this anywhere. And so maybe what happens elsewhere will entice a lot of people to want to try something differently, because if you only care about your end result, you just have to look at the results. And I think to not be able to be together in a way that people used to be, and I understand things did need to change, things of the past did need to change, but for the near future, I don't see anything getting better. But it will happen where a group of people will realize we're just getting old and we're just going to have to try something different. My 2 cents on it, that's just how I see it.
Okay. I like that you said bring that age lower, because I don't think we understand. I was just talking to my sister last night, like, sis, we literally did all of this work, right? Everything is building on, right? But even look at the BET Awards, right? Those awards was a mixture of then and now, because the gap has been placed there by the young people thinking, because remember, everybody gets a trophy and you the hot shit. You think that you're so damn amazing that you could pick up a phone and make an app. But what you can't do is build that computer to make that app anymore. That's what you can't do. What everybody is developing now is all this AI shit. But what we developed was medicine. We developed computers. We developed telephones. We developed things that were needed. You guys are developing trends. So you keep popping things out, but nobody's paying attention to the part where it's needed.
That's right. That's right.
We put this generation in a position so that they could have careers, family, flexibility, so look like the 50s, but no student loans, in a better place, because we took that L for the next generation to have it, and instead they're not taking that baton and taking it with them. They became I am so great, I don't need, I did this by myself, so much so that some of those people I got feedback from BET Red Carpet. Google was one of the people that she went in for her red carpet interview, and they basically treated her like she was nobody, not knowing who she was. Did you make her wait over an hour? You didn't know who she was. Some people don't know who Yo-Yo is. How you don't know who Yo-Yo is and you're a rapper? There's certain things that we had to know before we got into a field, because paying homage, having those conversations was important. You couldn't even be in a damn game without having conversations that need to be had, because it was important to know what you were about to be a part of. The disconnect is too great, and I think we need to close that disconnect in order to truly pass off that baton. We really messed up. But we do need to close that gap, like you said. So, Ron, what is your prediction for the future and what all these things look like? And do you want to have a family?
It's really hard for me to predict the future at this point. This generation is so different, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but it's advancing
Right.
so fast and things are changing. So I don't know what it's gonna look like. Things change. Trends start. This very trendy generation, and so it's hard to really predict. I'm hoping that the families remain strong and families are encouraged, and because it seems like the family thing is dying out. Everybody, so independent now. What I'm saying? Everybody want to be by themselves. So, but I hope the family thing comes back in the future. I'm optimistic and I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm always thinking positively about it. As far as myself, um, family. I mean, if I want a wife, a family, I don't. I think that ship
What
is probably
I
sailed for
meant,
me.
that's what I meant, closing the loop.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely want a wife. I want to grow old with somebody. My children are in high school, so I think that ship is sailed. Trying to make a blended family, but I think going forward, I would love to have a wife. My oldest daughter actually wants me to have another child. And she's like, Dad, I want a sibling. I want a baby sibling. She'll be 18, so she's like, what I mean? She's like, Dad, it'd be dope if you had another kid. So I'm not closing myself off to it. But it definitely has to be with somebody that I want to be with forever. I'm not going through doing anything by myself or going through no bad relationships. I want
We are
to
not
be
taking applications right now. My brother is
no.
not having no baby. Okay. And I'm going to talk to my niece. Okay. Let me tell you why. Because we are going to do a full background check. We ain't playing with you. Okay. Go ahead.
That part right there. It's not looming. Notice I'm very responsible. What I mean? As far as I don't just get random people pregnant. Been single for a long time and ain't got nobody pregnant. So I'm very intentional with how I move. So obviously I want to be married first and foremost before I have any type of baby. I want that to be my wife first. I want to do it the quote unquote right way, or the way that feels right. She's locked in. She's mine. We in this together forever. I want to see what that feels like, before my time passes. So I definitely would like a family that I'm gonna, wake up and see for the rest of my life, in the near
So
future.
now you understand what I be saying when I'm like, don't close yourself off, because you truly haven't still had the opportunity to enjoy fatherhood. You've
Right.
loved fatherhood, you've
That part.
embraced, you've done just like a single mother has. But look at how many single mothers that we know that once their kid was in their senior year and they pop back up pregnant, and you looking like, you was almost done. And they like, no, I'm just getting started, because they got married, and it just feels different. And it feels really good to hear that my niece said that to you, because I'm sure you probably needed to hear that. I'm sure it would feel good to have one, as being able to just have full engagement from the beginning and just to enjoy it, have the whole family
Yes.
around. Just like a woman, a man deserves that too, which is why I don't have one, because my husband was doing something when he got a new job when we got married. And he specifically asked me to wait. And although I'm not a mother yet and he's a father, I understood when that man said, because I listened and it wasn't just about me, that I've never had the opportunity to enjoy it from beginning to end, the rubbing of the stomach, the picking the name. Men deserve to have the beauty it's a family thing. It's not a gender
Yes.
role thing for that. You deserve
Yes.
that. And I want that
Yes.
for you. But I don't have no problem choking. No,
Yes.
I'm just. I won't. We're very nice. We're very
Yeah.
nice family, actually.
That part.
We are. So, Jojo, you look like you have something else to say. The conversation about your own family, or that part sparked something for you?
Oh no! I just wanted to make a comment about the what you described, the part about childhood that is so beautiful. The way you described it and everything, it's just so new for me. I never knew this until I got here. It's just, for me, the places that I come from, it's a very maternal thing. It's mothers. In some places, the father is not allowed in the house until the child is of a certain age.
Yep.
And so these things are very different. Having to learn that self-expression. My parents never told me I love you. I don't know what that is. That I love you the way I love you, mom. I love you, dad. I
Damn.
never had that. I never had that. It was always understood, but never needed to be said. And
So
then I
you
come
felt
here,
it all the time. You just didn't hear it.
felt it. I mean,
Y'all, this show is gonna go long. If you don't want to say that fine. We gotta
no,
keep going, huh?
I say it. So look, you have clothes on your back, you have food, you go to school, and your situation is a little better than kids that may not have it because they're a little bit poor. That is all the recognition that you need. If you feel down because some girl wrote on the paper that you're fat or you're ugly, you come home and you don't feel too good about it. My parents wouldn't know what to say. My dad or my mom wouldn't know what to say. You just have to look at yourself in the mirror and realize, she just said it because she's mean. At 8, you might not realize that, but at 14, 15, 16, if it's still affecting you, you just have to find a way to get over it.
Damn.
But that's
So
just
you're not taught that the girl might be doing that for that reason, so you can move
or
forward.
it's not. Look, are you coming home with good grades? I'm only concerned about your grades. So if your grades are good and you have good grades, okay, your grades are good. You don't want to
Okay,
go
then
into
I
the
have a
class.
question.
Go ahead.
So the purpose of the mother staying home for us is to do the domestic things, but most of all, to be there if the child hurts themselves, to stay at home, be with them if they're sick, like, okay, so the gender roles for us looks like we need the man and the woman because, like Ron was saying, he has girls, so he had to learn how to be a little softer. He has to think about his son and not be too hard because the woman part is missing. So ours is the girl is supposed to be like oh, let me hug you, oh, my baby. And then the dad's supposed to say, so what, your leg is broke. Get in there and just go do whatever. And then the mom is supposed to say, don't talk to my baby like that. But y'all don't have that. So
No, we did. No, we did have that, but not in the way that you're describing. So if my father's disciplining me, and she and my mom would think that it was a little too harsh after the disciplining, hey, you think you went a little too hard on the boy, you feel it kind of understood, he lost his phone, he was looking for his phone. So because he lost his phone looking for his phone, that's why he came back after whatever curfew. If you told him you got to be home by 6 o'clock, he came home by 8. Before you start, trying to pull out the belt on him, trying to understand, hey, this is what happened. I could be lying. I could be not. He has to mitigate it, whatever the case may be. But if he's going a little too hard or too harsh, and she, has the conversation with him, like, hey, so next time, just hear him out first. He could be right. He could not have been lying, or he could have been lying. I don't know. So she's coming in that capacity, which so we have that, but then. For me, it's that added layer, that next layer of hugging, kissing, and that physical expression of parental love. This is how I like to describe it. My upbringing, if you ever watched movies, there is a different relationship between a father and a son when it's a father-son as opposed to Dad and Sonny.
Okay.
Dad and Sonny get to toss the baseball to each other.
Yeah.
Father
Okay.
son is, son, did you finish writing your essay for such and such? So that's the relationship I had. That
The
gap
fluffy
between the
part.
two, that, but there we go. I guess we can say that, where you get to cuddle buddy and all that. So I did not have that. I don't know. So I had to
Okay.
learn.
So there's
I
a
had to learn
thicker
that
layer
here.
of skin.
I had to learn that. I had to learn that here. All of this I had to learn here. I didn't have that. And again,
Okay.
my mom, he was born in 1950. 1950 in Africa, a lot of people don't realize it's still colonialism. I mean, it's just a different time.
Absolutely.
It's a completely different time. And so to have that expectation that they would be able to do that would imply that they would be so forward thinking. Not a lot of people were. And
So that layer was, so the layer in, so our parents were born in the 50s here, but it was still a little bit different, especially if you got away from Texas, like my family did and came here. But there, it was still survival mode. So they are teaching you to be tough, survive, get things done, make it out by getting your grades, the structure that's needed.
Right.
Ah,
That's
okay.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
That's similar. That's similar to what I had.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So having kids, that experience that you're describing, and you're saying, the parents and the boys and the men, it's something that I didn't have it. I didn't see it. I don't know what it looks. And like I said, in some cultures, only the women are allowed in the room. The men cannot be there.
That's what I saw too. I was wondering if that was still active. Okay, well, you got to come back next week because I got family structure questions, because that's important to know. People are not having enough conversations. And then when you're going in thinking, but we were great as boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah, but now you're making decisions for your family and you picking up either some you like and didn't like and you passing them on. Or if you tell me about your past, I can start to tell you, hey, remember that thing you said you don't want to do? You're starting to do it with our kids, and we can talk about it.
That's right.
But some people don't even, and I'm guilty of that. There's a lot I didn't know. And so I want to talk about that. So hopefully you could come back next week, because
absolutely.
Questions. We got questions. So next week, the topic is definitely going to be on the difference in family structure between Africa and here, because we are all Black. Fun fact, before we make sure that you subscribe to Melanin Madam. Also follow all of us on Instagram. I do have our information in the box below, and then description area below. I also have us tagged on Instagram. I will put up Jodo's next event that he is doing with his cigars in the IE, because next time I will be able to go. So we will make sure to show up and show out there. I love a good sparkle. And then make sure you also follow the famous homie on Instagram. But this is my fun fact before we go, and then we'll for real say it. Well, each one of them to say goodnight in their own voice. But JoJo didn't know. What did you say? It was a difference between dark skin and light skin before you came here, or was it fat or not fat? It was one.
There was a time where even the word Black, my understanding of what that meant, I only got a chance to experience it when I came here, because back home, since we're all Black, we don't refer to each other as Black. We just refer to each other as our tribe. But coming here is just, And then I got to witness a lot of people have these separations, and dark skin and light skin and stuff. To me, it's like very simple. If there is somebody out there, who doesn't like dark skin, hey, that's all right. That's more for me.
That part.
Yeah, that's more for me. I don't know what it is about people who don't like dark skin people, but okay, if you don't like dark skin, that's more for me. That's more for me.
Both for me.
Okay, well, brother, do you want to let JoJo tell the last story, and I'm going to let you close us out, and then we will go.
Okay. I think everybody should just the key is to listen to each other. Like, we have this huge disconnect in our community, in the Black community, like he was just talking about, but between men and women, our Black men, our Black women, we have to start listening to each other for understanding. Stop being so set in your ways, men. Stop thinking that everything that we believe is right and say it's right. Women, listen. Shut up sometimes and just listen. Let's listen for understanding and stop listening for responding. Listen for understanding, stop listening and responding, and let's advance our race and our culture in a positive motion so we can be optimistic about the future.
All right, and for me, one last thing I'll say is when we're having these conversations, I want both sides to be able to come to the table in good faith, because I don't see a lot of these conversations being had in good faith. And if those conversations are not had in good faith, I don't think we're going anywhere. That's what I would say.
Well, y'all heard the alpha man. I don't actually have anything else to say because I'm going to shut up. So, and I really don't have anything else to say. I agree with that. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.